Hello friends, welcome back to the Justice Junction. I hope you are doing great. आज मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगी इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट वन लाइनर्स which is important for any type of competitive exam, either it's judiciary, legal entrance exam, RBI grade B exam. ये नेट के एग्जाम्स के लिए भी बहुत important हैं. So, fasten your seat belts and be ready for the intellectual journey of इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट वन लाइनर्स. इस वीडियो का मेन पर्पस है एग्जाम से पहले रिवीजन. लेट्स स्टार्ट. माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट डज फ्रस्ट्रेशन ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इम्प्लाई? फ्रस्ट्रेशन ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इम्प्लाइज फिजिकल इम्पॉसिबिलिटी ड्यू टू डिसअपीयरेंस ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट मैटर ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट और द ऑब्जेक्ट हैज फेल्ड टू मैटेरियलाइज. अगर कोई सब्जेक्ट मैटर डिसअपीयर हो जाता है या कोई ऐसा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जिसको अब परफॉर्म नहीं किया जा सकता, उसे फ्रस्ट्रेशन ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कहते हैं. नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट केस ऑन द डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ फ्रस्ट्रेशन एज डिसाइडेड बाय द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया? सत्यव्रत घोष वर्सेस मंगनी राम was the first case on the doctrine of frustration as decided by the Supreme Court of India. Next question is when can impossibility of the performance of a contract arise? Impossibility of performance of a contract may arise at the time of making the agreement and subsequent to the formation of the contract. अगला क्वेश्चन है what are the common reasons for the frustration of contract? Frustration of a contract may be due to destruction of the subject matter, death of or incapacity of a party, government or legislative interventions. Next question is what is the basis of the doctrine of impossibility of performance rendering contracts void in India? In India, the doctrine of impossibility of performance rendering contracts void is based on the supervening impossibility or illegality as laid down in section 56 Indian Contract Act. If A and B contract to marry each other and before the time fixed for the marriage A become mentally incapacitated, goes mad, the contract becomes void due to supervening impossibility. This is the example of supervening impossibility. In this case, contract becomes void because A is not capable to do the contract. Next question is what is the effect of frustration of contract? The effect of frustration of contract is the promisor is excused from the performance and the contract is dissolved automatically. Next question is a contract frustrated by commercial hardship? No, a contract is not frustrated by commercial hardship. अगर कमर्शियल हार्डशिप होती है तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को फ्रस्ट्रेट नहीं कराया जा सकता. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट हैपेंस टू ए प्रोमिस व्हेन ए प्रोमिसर ए डाइज बिफोर द स्पेसिफाइड डे इन ए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट टू पेंट अ पिक्चर फॉर द प्रोमिसी बी? The agreement lapses for both the parties when the promisor A dies before the specified day in the contract to paint a picture of the promisee B. Agreement दोनों parties की तरफ से lapse हो जाएगा. Next question is in the case where C lets a music hall to X for a series of music concerts and the hall is completely destroyed by the fire before the scheduled date of the concert, what happened to the contract? In this case, the contract is discharged by impossibility of performance in the case when the music hall is completely destroyed by fire before the scheduled date of the concerts. Next question is what happens to the contract between A and B when they had contracted to marry each other but A goes mad before the time fixed for the marriage? The contract becomes void when A goes mad before the time fixed for the marriage in a contract between A and B. ये contract void हो जाएगा. Next question is under what circumstances can a party to a contract be discharged from the performing it? A party to a contract can be discharged from performing it if it has become impossible. Next question is what is the basis of the doctrine of frustration in contract law? The basis of the doctrine of frustration is that performance is excused when a fundamental assumption underlying the contract has become impossible. Next question is what is the principle upon which obligation under quasi-contract are based? Obligation under quasi-contract are based on the principle of natural justice and equity. Quasi-contract के obligation based हैं natural justice और equity पे. Next question is, what is quasi-contract? Can you provide an example? Quasi-contract include payment by an interested person. For example, if someone pays for another person medical expenses without a prior contract, this can be a quasi-contractual obligation. Next question is, which section of the Indian Contract Act makes provisions for a claim for necessaries supplied to a person incapable of contracting or on their account? Section 68 of the Indian Contract Act makes provision for the claim for necessaries supplied to a person incapable of contracting or on their account. Next question is, if a minor is supplied with necessaries, who or what is liable for payment? If a minor is supplied with necessaries, the minor estate or property is liable for the payment. Next question is, what does necessaries mean in section 68? Necessaries in section 68 means goods that are necessary to support a person's life or such things as may be necessary to maintain a person according to their condition in life. अगला क्वेश्चन है, in a scenario where a tenant pays property tax on behalf of the owner B, who is obligated to pay it, what is A entitled to? A is entitled to be reimbursed by B when A pays the property tax on behalf of B, who is legally bound to pay it. यहाँ पे A entitled है reimbursed का by B. Next question is, what condition must be met for a person to be bound to make compensation to another person who lawfully does something for them or delivers something to them and the recipient enjoy the benefit thereof? To make such person bound to make compensation to the former, the act or delivery must be non-gratuitous. Mean it should not be done without expectation of compensation. यदि कोई व्यक्ति कानूनी रूप से किसी अन्य व्यक्ति के लिए कुछ भी करता है या उसे कुछ भी देता है और ऐसा अन्य व्यक्ति उसके लाभ का आनंद लेता है, तो ऐसे अन्य व्यक्ति को ऐसे पूर्व कार्य या डिलीवरी के लिए मुआवजा देने के लिए बाध्य करना आवश्यक होना चाहिए. अगला क्वेश्चन है, इफ मनी पेड अंडर मिस्टेक ऑफ coercion recoverable in cases of both mistake of law and mistake of fact? Yes, money paid under mistake of coercion is recoverable in cases of mistake of fact or mistake of law. That money is recoverable. Next question is, what remedies are available to a tradesman when he leaves good to B house by mistake and B treats the goods at his own? Here, B is bound to pay A for the goods if A leaves goods at house of B by mistake and B treats the goods as his own. Next question is, can a breach of contract be of two types? If so, what are they? Yes, breach of contract can be of two types, actual or anticipatory. Next question is, what is the correct sequence in a claim for damage for breach of contract? The correct sequence in a claim for damage for breach of contract is contract, breach, then damage. अगला क्वेश्चन है, what does section 73 of Contract Act pertains to the relation of damage in a contract? Section 73 of the Contract Act pertains to the ability to claim special damage if the party breaking the contract is made aware of the special circumstances at the time of contract. Next question is, what can a party who suffered a loss as a result of breach of contract claim in the usual course of action? A party who suffered a loss as a result of breach of contract can claim ordinary damage in usual course of action. अगला क्वेश्चन है, does the section 73 of the Contract Act apply to the contracts for the sale of movable properties and immovable properties? Section 73 of the Contract Act applies to the contract for the sale of movable properties and immovable properties. अगला क्वेश्चन है, what is the compensation claimed under section 73 in case of breach of a contract? Compensation claimed under section 73 is the proximate and natural consequence of the breach of contract. अगला क्वेश्चन है, what is the nature of damage for breach of contract? डैमेज फॉर ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट आर कंपनसेटरी इन नेचर। इसका नेचर कंपनसेटरी होगा। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज which leading case is related to the concept of remoteness of damage in contract law? Hadley versus Baxendale is the leading case related to the concept of remoteness of damage in contract law. Next question is what factors is considered in estimating the damage in a contract when a party claims damage? In estimating damage, the means available with the party claiming damage to minimize the damage shall be considered. Next question is what is the term for a certain sum of money agreed upon the parties in a contract to be payable in case of breach of contract? The parties to a contract agrees that a certain sum of money would be payable in case of breach of contract. Such damage is called liquidated damage. अगला क्वेश्चन है when does section 74 Indian Contract Act apply in terms of proving actual damage or loss caused by the breach of contract? Section 74 applies where the actual damage or loss has been proved to be caused by the breach and where the actual damage or loss has not been proved to be caused by the breach. Next question is what is the purpose of earnest money in contract and how it is related to the performance of contract? Earnest money is a sum of money deposited for the performance of the contract and it serves as the guarantee of the due performance of the contract. अर्नेस्ट मनी अनुबंध के प्रदर्शन के लिए जमा की गई राशि है और यह कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के उचित प्रदर्शन की गारंटी के रूप में कार्य करती है। My next question is what is the limitation imposed by section 74 regarding damage in contract? According to section 74, the court cannot damage more than amount stated in the contract. जितना अमाउंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में स्टेट किया गया है कोर्ट उससे ज़्यादा डैमेज कभी भी ग्रांट नहीं करती। My next question is in which type of situation does section 74 typically apply and what is the requirement for legal injury in these cases? Section 74 applies to cases where the consequence of breach no legal injury at all has resulted. Section 74 उन केसेस पर लागू होता है जहां किसी ब्रीच के परिणाम स्वरूप कोई भी कानूनी चोट नहीं हुई है। इसका मतलब है कि जब कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट की शर्त या एग्रीमेंट की पालन पूर्ति में चूक होती है लेकिन उससे किसी कानूनी चोट का असर नहीं होता तो सेक्शन 74 लागू किया जाता है। Where in consequences of breach no legal injury at all has resulted. When are special damage awarded in cases of a contract breach and what conditions must be met to claim special damage? When there is a breach of contract, special damage are awarded only when there is a notice of the likely special loss. Damage तभी award किए जाते हैं जब breach of contract के बाद notice दिया जाए special loss का। Next question is under what circumstances does the right to sue on quantum merit arise and when is a party discharged from a contract? A right to sue on quantum merit arises when a party partly performed the contract and discharged by the other party. क्वांटम मेरिट का राइट तभी स्यू किया जा सकता है जब दूसरी पार्टी ने अपना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पार्टली परफॉर्म कर दिया है। Next question is what kind of damage are recoverable for a breach of contract and what condition determines their recoverability? Only such damages are recoverable for the breach of contract as arise naturally in the usual course of things. बस वही डैमेज रिकवर किए जा सकते हैं जो सामान्य प्रक्रिया में संभाविक रूप से उत्पन्न हुए हैं। Next question is what is the stipulation for increased interest from the date of default known as? A stipulation for increased interest from the date of default is known as penalty. डिफॉल्ट की डेट से इंटरेस्ट रेट में वृद्धि के लिए शर्त को दंड के रूप में जाना जाता है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट राइट डज एन एग्रीव पार्टी हैव इन द केस ऑफ एंटीसिपेटरी ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? In case of anticipatory breach of contract, an aggrieved party has the right to claim performance at any time. यदि किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एंटिसिपेटरी ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है तो फिर एग्रीव्ड पार्टी को कभी भी पूरी परफॉर्मेंस की मांग करने का अधिकार होता है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज हाउ वुड यू डिफाइन लिक्विडेटेड डैमेज एंड व्हाट इज देयर एसेंस इन टर्म्स ऑफ डैमेज इन ए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? Liquidated damage is essentially a genuine convented pre-estimate of the damage. लिक्विडेटेड डैमेज का मतलब होता है किसी भी प्रकार की चोट का अंदाजा पहले से ही लगाया गया है। इसका मतलब है कि जब किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में दोनों पार्टीज पहले से ही तय करती हैं कि अगर किसी शर्त का उल्लंघन होता है तो कितनी चोट दी जाएगी, तो वो चोट को लिक्विडेटेड डैमेज के रूप में जाना जाता है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी एम ऑफ द लॉ ऑफ डैमेज कंसर्निंग अ पार्टी हु हैज सफर्ड अ लॉस ड्यू टू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ब्रीच। The primary aim of the law of damage is to place the party who sustained the loss in the same position as if the contract has been performed. Next question is, what is the legal consequences if an acceptance include additions, limitations or other change to the original offer? An acceptance containing additions, limitations or other modification shall amount to counter offer. अगर एक्सेप्टेंस में कोई भी एडिशन होता है, कोई भी लिमिटेशन ऐड की जाती है या मॉडिफिकेशन होती हैं, तो उसको काउंटर ऑफर ट्रीट करेंगे। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज हाउ कैन वी डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन लिक्विडेटेड डैमेज एंड पेनल्टीज इन ए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एंड व्हाट इज द की फैक्टर दैट डिफाइंस द लिक्विडेटेड डैमेज। If the sum fixed represents a genuine pre-estimate of the probable damage that is likely to result from the breach, it is liquidated damage. इसका मतलब है कि अगर कोई कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में लिखी हुई रकम सचमुच व्यक्ति को बताती है कि अगर उल्लंघन होता है तो उसे होने वाले नुकसान का अनुमान किस तरह से किया जाता है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट इज द नेचर ऑफ द पेमेंट स्टिपुलेटेड एज इन टेररम इन द कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट। पेनल्टी एसोसिएटेड विद द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज द पेमेंट ऑफ मनी स्टिपुलेटेड एज इन द टेररम। अगला क्वेश्चन है under what conditions can mere silence not to be considered as fraud in a contract? Mere silence is not fraud where there is no duty to speak and where silence is not deceptive and where the change in circumstances has been through to the notice of the other party. Next question is what type of damage can be a party typically claim when the experience loses due to a breach of contract in the usual course? A party who suffers losses as a result of breach of contract can in the usual course claim ordinary damage. Next question is what duty does a person suing for damage under the law of contract have with respect to mitigating the loss resulting from the contract of breach? A person who sues for damage under the law of contract has a duty to mitigate the loss consequent upon the breach of contract. अगला क्वेश्चन है in which section agent and principal defined? Section 182 defines the agent and principal. आज के लिए इतना ही। See you in next video. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay informed, stay engaged and stay tuned. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning. Goodbye.